Bowser. He's a pretty big guy, and he has a lot of fights with Mario. And some fights are gonna be really easy, and other fights are gonna be not so easy. So today, we're gonna go through all of the main series Super Mario Bros. Games and rank all of the final Bowser fights based upon how easy or how difficult they are to fight. So the easiest boss fights will be at the bottom of the list, and the more harder ones will be at the top of the list. So before we start, I'm just counting the main series Super Mario Bros. Games, so no spin-offs will count in this. And also I'm just counting the final boss, so the final time that you fight Bowser before you complete the story. So if you're happy with that, let's start off at number 15, which will be the easiest Bowser fight in the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. Without a doubt, the easiest Bowser fight in the Mario franchise is New Super Mario Bros. 2. This fight is super easy. All that you had to do is jump from platform to platform to stay above the rising lava. Bowser will swipe his claws in an attempt to break whichever platform you're on to make sure that you don't fall down into the lava. And what makes this fight so easy is the fact that Bowser is so slow at carrying out his attacks. He gives you plenty of warning to know when he will attack. Just look at his eyes. His eyes will glow orange, which means that he is about to attack. So as soon as his eyes glows orange, you just jump from the other platform and you're safe. And if you have a raccoon leaf, it makes the fight even easier. Yes, this fight is definitely the easiest Bowser fight in the Super Mario franchise. Next up is the original Super Mario Bros. Yeah, this fight is slightly harder than New Super Mario Bros. 2, but only by a little bit. All you need to do is to avoid Bowser's hammers and fireballs and run under him when he jumps high enough to pull the axe from behind and make the bridge below him collapse. It's simple enough, especially since you do the exact same thing in the previous 7 imposter Bowser fights in the game, so by the time you get to the final fight you would have done this 7 times before, so yeah, it's very easy. Next is arguably the worst Bowser fight in the franchise. And one reason why it's so bad is because it's so easy. All that you have to do is ground pound all 5 panels at the edge of Bowser's bathtub to win. Bowser and Bowser Jr. will try to stop you by shooting bullet bills and breathing fire, but they're so easy to avoid. You just need to simply run in the other direction to avoid them. It's that simple. Remember this game? I'm pretty sure you all forgotten this game existed. Although yeah, Super Mario Run is a very real game. You've probably all forgotten about this game's existence, but anyway. This fight is very easy. Bowser will throw some bob-ons at you and Mario will vault over them to send them back at Bowser. This fight is very easy because Mario automatically jumps over the bob-ons, so half the time you don't even need to touch the screen to beat Bowser. Just be sure to avoid the occasional fireballs and spike balls Bowser sends at you and you'll be fine. The fight just before the final fight is pretty challenging, but the actual final fight is not so challenging. You need to ground pound the 4 golden meteors at Bowser as he slowly approaches you. And in the unlikely situation that you do get hit, a coin will appear that replenishes the life that you just lost. This fight really holds your hands, and I don't know why, especially since I think that on the whole, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a much harder game than Galaxy 1, but the final fight is just too easy. Now this is where the Bowser fights start to get a little bit harder. This fight is still pretty easy though. The main reason why I think that is because Bowser's attacks are still very slow. You just need to grab Bowser Jr.'s Koopa Clown Car and smash Bowser in the face with it 3 times. But you need to be on your toes and pay attention to your surroundings. And the fact that you need to worry about Bowser Jr. as well as Bowser can be quite challenging. But this fight still is very easy. Next up is New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. This fight uses the same idea as the original Super Mario Bros. Although it is harder because you need to fight Bowser and Bowser Jr. at the same time. Again, it isn't super difficult if you're just careful, but you do need to stay on your toes and watch your step. Next is 2 games in 1. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Super Mario 3D World's final fight is fairly straightforward. You just need to watch where you're going and you'll be fine. The camera scrolls really slowly in this fight, which gives you more than enough time to plan out your moves. And the way you defeat Bowser is so easy and straightforward. I mean, just jump into a power block 4 times and you win. It's pretty self-explanatory. And the Bowser's Fury final fight isn't really that much harder. Just watch where you're going and you'll be fine. This fight is fairly challenging because it can be quite hard to judge where Bowser is going to land after he jumps. He does move fairly fast and you do need to be careful not to fall down the bottomless pits yourself that you're trying to dig for Bowser. Also, the battle arena is quite small, so you don't really have a lot of space to move and avoid Bowser's fireballs and ground pounds. So yeah, the fights are definitely getting harder. This fight really puts your platforming skills to the test. You'll be jumping from platform to platform while you're trying to avoid Bowser's massive fireballs, claw swings and jumps. If you have a propeller mushroom, then it's easier, but without one it can be pretty challenging. Also, there's a lot of pressure on you when you're fighting Bowser, since the music is really intense and the level is pretty long. So it can be pretty challenging, especially on your first go, but with practice it will get easier. This fight is a lot harder than its sequel, Galaxy 2. I find this fight quite hard because it's fairly long. The first and second phase you need to spin attack Bowser at just the right moment in order to attack him, and if you miss the spin attack then you'll take damage. It's mainly the timing of the attacks that makes it quite challenging. It's pretty precise, but if you perfect the timing then the fight isn't too bad. But regardless, it's still such a fantastic final fight. With this fight, I'm just counting the first part where you actually fight Bowser, not the second part where you capture Bowser to escape the area, since you don't actually fight Bowser in that bit. This fight is quite challenging because a lot of things is being thrown at you. Bowser's hat, his shockwaves, the rocky balls that he throws at you. There's quite a lot of things you need to avoid in this fight. Also, you do need to get quite close to Bowser in order to attack him, which makes you even more prone to his attacks. When Bowser's spitting fire at you, it can be quite hard to judge when to jump and to avoid his fire. So yeah, this fight is pretty challenging because there's a lot to avoid, because Bowser throws a lot at you in this fight. Here comes one of my all-time favourite Bowser fights in the franchise. This fight is pretty tricky because it's pretty long and intense. The first part of this fight isn't too bad, but the second part of the fight is quite hard because Bowser spits super fireballs at you, where he can destroy both you and the platform beneath you, so you need to be alert at all times. Afterwards, Bowser will start to chase you whilst you dodge bricks, which can be quite hard to execute if you're not careful. This fight is pretty challenging. You need to pick up Bowser by its tail and swing him into the landmines that are spread across the battle arena. Now this fight is pretty challenging because the mines are pretty small, and it is quite hard to time the moment where you throw Bowser into the mines. Not only that, but Bowser likes to breathe fire and create shockwaves on the ground. He also teleports as well, so it's actually quite hard to reach Bowser in order to even grab him by his tail to throw him into the mines to begin with. So yeah, this fight is pretty challenging, but there's one that's even harder. The hardest fight in the franchise, in my opinion, has to be Super Mario World's final fight. This fight takes place in 3 stages. The first stage isn't too bad because Bowser hardly attacks you. However, you do need to time when you throw the Mecha Koopas up at Bowser, which can be a bit of a challenge. The second part is where Bowser drops balls on you, which you can take damage to if you're not careful. And the final phase, which is definitely the hardest, is when Bowser will continuously try to pound you. His moves are pretty fast in the final phase as well, so it is very hard to judge where he is going. In between each phase, Bowser will spit fireballs at you as well, which you need to dodge. This fight throws quite a bit at you. As epic as this fight is, it is a very challenging fight, so you need to be alert and on your toes at all times, which is why I think that Super Mario World's Bowser fight is the hardest final Bowser fight in the Mario franchise. So, what do you think of that list? Hope you enjoyed this slightly different video that I do, since I usually do videos on Mario Kart, but today I just wanted to do a video based upon the Mario Brothers franchise upon the Bowser fights. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all in 2 weeks. Goodbye.